Yesterday, I'm a little confused, but he, along with the CEO, Rick Welts, had an hour-long media session with select members of Dallas-based media. And, of course, they talked all things Luka. No cameras, no recording devices, you know, very normal. There's a lot to get to, by the way, so it doubled down on having, quote, no regrets about the trade. And you know what? I know Chandler's got a lot to say. So before we get to Chandler, Lou, the no regrets, what are we doing with that?
You got to have regrets. You can tell by the rollout.
Okay.
Why do something behind closed doors without cameras, without recorders, if you have no regrets? What are you hiding from if you have no regrets? Like, you got to face the music. The same way that the players are held accountable for the things that they do on and off the floor. You're the leader of the organization in the position that you're in. Face the music. Stand in front of the cameras and face the music like everyone else. You know, don't do it with select media members and kind of rig it up to the point where it's to your liking. Like, stand out there and explain to us what was your thought process. Or, you know what, you don't even have to explain to us what your thought process is. Tell the fan base and the people of Dallas what what is your plan? What is your plan? Why do you trade?
Vision?
Yeah, what is the vision?
Yeah.
Like, stand in front of them, and then maybe they can respect your position more than that. But I don't like the fact that you did this behind closed doors and you're hiding and you're rigging the deck up to make yourself look good in this situation. And then to say you have no regrets. If you have no regrets, why are you going about this the way that you're going about it?
Here we go. Everyone, Chandler Parsons.
It's just... It's completely cowardly what he did yesterday. The fact that he doesn't allow microphones or cameras is the most shocking thing I think I've ever seen in media and sports. This is ridiculous. And by the way, the timing of it is weird. It's the day before you play in the play-in game when you're about to have exit interviews anyways, where you can sit down and then feel the need to explain yourself. And I have a friend who's a head coach in the NFL, and he made a huge trade one time, quarterback for quarterback. You can fill in the blanks here.
Sure.
And the one thing he regretted, and it worked out for both teams, they both went on to have great careers, it was the communication. It was the respect level that you have as a partner in business, that you don't at least have the respect to talk and to let them know, and their family and their kids, and to just make them aware. As a player, you just want communication. You just want to feel that respect and that trust. And in this trade, in this deal, again, I understand where he was coming from. The way he got it done had to be in secrecy, but this was just...
find out it wasn't a secret.
Yeah, come to find out you could have gotten more.
This is just no class. This is bad business. You don't handle it like this, especially Luka Doncic, who's done everything for the city. He's been there longer than you've been. This is just no respect, and I think it's a bad play. And I think optics-wise, this whole sit-down yesterday, this little kumbaya meeting yesterday was weird.
It's getting worse.
With no, like, how is this guy? He doesn't have like a
PR?
publicist that's like, hey, this is going to look horrible, and this is going to look so soft to do this with no cameras. Like, it's just bad. It's also just another distraction right before the biggest game of the year. I was trying to fight for our playoff chances, and you're sitting there talking about a trade a couple of months ago. It's just weird timing.
Well, just wait, because there's more. He said his obligation was to the Mavs and not to Dirk or the fans.
Imagine the GM of the Spurs making a trade and going, you know what? I don't care what Tim Duncan or David Roth. Why even?
Never happened.
They didn't even ask him about that. He just willingly just brought up the best Mav of all time, and that his opinion doesn't matter, or the fan base that buys the tickets that goes to support this team, they don't matter. Like, this is just the weirdest interview I've ever seen in my life, and it makes it's tone deaf. It's no awareness. It's disrespectful.
It's antagonistic, weirdly, for no reason. I don't get it.
Just face the music. Do your sit-down interview. Say, this is why I did it. I believe in Anthony Davis. I don't care that he's older. I don't care that he's been hurt. I love Max Christie. I think them collectively, and we add a couple pieces defensively that can make us a better team than with Luka, and I don't think Luka's body is going to hold up. Stick to your guns.
Pump up your guys.
Do that and talk about this city and talk about getting back to the level that Dirk had us at, winning a championship. Not saying you don't care about his opinion, the family's opinion. It's just, it's very cowardly. It's very weird, and I just don't understand how they even let him do this.
For the record, Mark Cuban did respond with Dirk is the Mavs, and I think that was the perfect response.
Then you got the old owner, you got Cuban.
Hold on, there's more to this. It's not done yet. This was an hour long, and we got some gems out of it.
I'm proud of you, man. This is just weird.
Well, hold on, because now I want to hear what you think about what Welts said.
We'll go get him.
Rick Welts compared the trade to, you know, that big bombshell Ellis for Bogut trade back in the day that everyone's still talking about. Take that one away.
Rick Welch is an actual great. He was a great GM. This is so confusing now, like, because he was awesome. And then again, comparing it to a trade that I don't even remember happened is also nuts.
You think they remember it happening?
Like, no, this is nothing like that. This is weird to say, and also it's just there's no like sympathy to like the fan base or. Like Nico Harrison's his daughter's apparently getting bullied at school. This is a huge this is a huge impact on people around him, on his life. He can't go to work every day. He can't go to Chipotle in Dallas without getting booed or talk trash to. So you know the impact of this one decision.
Security because of death threats.
You have full-time security. You know the impact that this made. So the fact that you're now saying things like this and you're doubling down and still saying defense wins championships and saying these passive-aggressive weird things. And then comparing it to this trade that literally no one remembers is just so tone deaf.
I mean, Lou, do you remember where you were the day the Ellis Bogut trade went down? What were you doing?
I don't remember.
No, you don't? That's weird. I feel like we're all going to remember this one. So
I wasn't
aware.
At that time, I didn't care if it didn't have anything to do with me.
Lou, that is a very honest and yet disappointing statement from you.
I was an active player. I didn't care about what other teams were doing to help me win games. I didn't care.
And guess what? Active players cared about this Luka trade. Quentin Grimes in an interview yesterday. They were like, I didn't believe it. Like
everyone.
Like this impacted the whole sports world.
Yeah.
This put like Pat Mahomes on notice that he could be traded.
I was on Radio Row for Super Bowl, and anybody wanted to just talk about the Luka trade.
Josh Allen's probably like, oh shit, I could get traded if Luka got traded.
Yes, that's what's happening.
And you're comparing it to this trade?
Do not compare this to that.
Not the same.
Absolutely.
Don't tell me.
Not even close to the same.
And then he was asked, the obvious question is, why didn't you get more? Why didn't you try to get more for Luka? And then Nico answered that with, AD was at the top of our list, and they had an opportunity to do this thing very, very quietly without any interference. You know, I don't know, Lou, if that makes it make sense at all to you.
I don't agree, but he's telling you what his position was. He had a guy at the top of his list. If that's what you wanted to get out of this whole ordeal, and if you can do it with as least as many hands in the pot as you can, then go out and do it. That part I understand, but I disagree with him. You know, Luka he's a cornerstone to what the Dallas Mavericks have done. AD is also a superstar in his own right, but he's not what Luka Doncic is to the Dallas Mavericks, what he was in Los Angeles. And so for that, a lot of people feel like you could have went out and got more pieces in this deal, but, you know, Nico is doubling down and saying that he doesn't have any regrets, and AD was at the top of his list. So by all things considered, he feels like he did the right thing for the Mavs organization as far as his point of view goes. I don't find a lot of people that agree with him.
Yeah, and by the way, maybe this is true, and this is what he meant. And nowadays with social media and how everything is so exciting, like maybe he felt like he had to do this, even as disrespectful and inhumane or whatever the other terms you want to talk about to Luka.
We
gonna go that far.
I'm just saying, like, however,
we still hooping. We still hooping.
Whatever you think you need to do to not let people find out, fine. And by the way, he got the deal done. So whatever, if that was his actual plan, it worked. I just think as a fan base, as an organization, you have this top 3 player in the NBA. Maybe shop it. Maybe get more. And again, this isn't a knock on Anthony Davis.